Familiar, you're familiar. So if you don't know by now, then you should probably get familiar.
Hi students, so welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I think this is the video part number 5 for you on transient currents chapter, right? So we have discussed already the fundamentals to understand the transient currents. Now from this video exactly how this transient current can be calculated in various types of circuits. Okay, so first of all try to understand what is transient current once again. See, as per the definition you have to consider the current that exists for a short duration before attaining the steady value is called the transient current. So that means in any circuit, okay, particularly the circuit consisting of a capacitor or an inductor, okay, the current will not immediately rise to maximum, okay, when the circuit is switched on, and similarly when the circuit is switched off, immediately it will not come down to zero. Okay, there is a short duration, short time period in which how the current is increasing and decreasing. That is what you have to observe. Okay, so particularly as I said, the circuit consisting of either capacitor or inductor. Okay, if it is only a circuit consisting of a resistor, then there is no question of transient current here. Okay, so only the circuit consisting of particularly inductor and capacitor, or both also sometimes. Okay, so to understand this transient currents, you look at these two graphs. See, this is the first graph, transient period delta t during growth of the current. That means when the circuit is just switched on. When it is just switched on, the current increases from 0 to maximum. Okay, here it is a steady value. So we have the steady value means constant current is reached. That is called actually I naught here. Okay, so before reaching this maximum steady value, how the current is increasing, you see, it is exponentially increasing, right? So what is the time taken? That is called delta t. Okay, delta t is called here now transient period during the growth of the current, you have to say. And similarly, when the circuit is switched off, the current increases, decreases from maximum I naught to 0. Of course, gradually it is decreasing to 0. So before reaching the minimum or 0 value, okay, how the current is decreasing in the short period. So that short period is now again delta t, called transient period. Okay, so the transient period delta t during the decay. So decreasing is called decay of the current also. Clear? Okay, so like that you have to observe how the current is increasing or decreasing during the growth and during the decay of the current in various circuits. Okay, so let us try with one of the simple circuits first. So that is actually called RL circuit. So RL circuit means what? A resistor and inductor. So particularly connected in series here. Okay, when it is connected in series, how the growth of the current takes place in the circuit. So when the there is a key here, okay, that is actually the tapping key, and along with an EMF, supply EMF is E here. So the moment you press the key, okay, immediately the current starts increasing in the circuit. Okay, that is called growth of the current. So let us try to understand the growth of the current in the LR circuit. That means L and R both are here in series circuit. So that transient response in the circuit you have to study first. Clear? Okay, so now in the circuit consisting of RL in series with the supply EMF E and a tapping key K, when the key is closed, the moment you press the key, the circuit is closed, isn't it? The key is closed. The current in the circuit begins to increase in the transient period, isn't it? The current starts increasing in the transient period. So before that, so there is no current here, 0. Okay, it starts increasing in the transient period and then it reaches to maximum, that is called I naught. Okay, so then reaches the steady value. So the steady value is called actually I naught here. Okay, now the rise of current is opposed by the back EMF. You have to observe that here according to Faraday's law. So this rise of the current is opposed by some induced EMF. What is that induced EMF is called? It is called back EMF also. Okay, it is given by E is equal to minus L into di by dt. So because there is an inductor here, so a back EMF is produced in the inductor here. Okay, not in the resistor, it is produced in the inductor. So minus L, L is the inductance value. Okay, minus L into rate of change of current di by dt. Okay, so there is a negative sign here. So what is this negative sign indicates? The negative sign shows that the induced EMF opposes the applied EMF. Okay, applied EMF is capital E here. So the induced EMF is opposing the applied EMF, and hence we have a negative sign here. Okay, now the resultant EMF. What is the resultant EMF in circuit now due to the inductor? So that is supply EMF opposed by induced EMF. So E minus L into di by dt. Clear? Okay, now according to Kirchhoff's voltage, we have to apply the Kirchhoff's voltage law. So the resultant EMF E minus L into di by dt. Okay, the total resultant EMF due to the supply EMF and induced EMF should be equal to the voltage drop across the resistor. So how do you calculate the voltage drop across the resistor? So due to the flow of current I, so it is just product of I into R, isn't it? So you have to write I into R from the Ohm's law. Okay, so the resultant EMF is equal to voltage drop across the resistor, that is I into R according to KVL law. Okay, now by rearranging the equation, you can write E is equal to IR. So minus L into di by dt is there. If you take in the right hand side, it becomes plus L into di by dt. So let it be equation 2. Okay, now so when the current reaches maximum, what is that maximum value? I naught. Okay, so that means it is a constant, the current becomes constant. So if the current is constant, what is di by dt? Di by dt is equal to 0, isn't it? When the current is constant, the differentiation of a constant is 0. Di by dt is equal to 0. Clear? Okay, then in the above equation, if di by dt is equal to 0, so this term will go. Okay, so left with E is equal to I into R. So where I is now taken as maximum I naught, so you can write E is equal to now I naught into R. Correct? So now compare these two equations 2 and 3. So we can just write in place of E, you can write it as I naught into R. So left hand side is now I naught into R is equal to IR plus L into di by dt. So that is the equation 4. Okay, so write down up to this equation 4 now. Then you will proceed how to simplify the equation to get the relation between I and T, variation of current with respect to time during the transient period particularly. Okay, so now this equation 4 is just rearranged here. So that is L into di by dt, okay, is equal to, you see, R is common, so you can take R common here, then you will get I naught minus I into R. Okay, by cross multiplication you can write di. So you take all the current terms at one side, so di by I naught minus I in the denominator, so that is equal to R by L into dt. Okay, so that you will get one particular form of the equation, that is equation 5. Okay, now you can integrate easily. So integrating the above equation, so what we get here? So di by I naught minus I, we are integrating with respect to I, isn't it? So I naught is constant, I said it is a maximum. So minus sign is there here for I, so that minus log of the denominator I naught minus I after integrating in the left hand side. Similarly, after integrating the right hand side, you will get R by L into T. Okay, integrating with respect to time in the right hand side. So plus K, you can take now the integration constant as K here. Okay, constant of integration. Now whose value can be determined from the initial conditions. So what is initial conditions here? So when the time t equal to 0 in the beginning, so what is the current in the circuit? Okay, current is equal to 0, right? So substitute now in the equation 6, so that initial conditions t equal to 0, so this term will go, and similarly I equal to 0, so this term also will go. Okay, so left with minus log I naught is equal to K. Clear? So that you can substitute now K value as minus log I naught in equation 6. Okay, therefore equation 6 becomes now minus log I naught minus I is equal to R by L into T minus log I naught. In place of K, you can write now minus log I naught. Clear? Okay, so now done all these equations, I will continue this part in the right hand side now. You can now look at the equation. Here I am just interchanging the terms like this. So R by L into T in the left hand side and minus log I naught minus I in the right hand side. So that you will get the equation log I naught minus I minus log I naught, okay, as it is. So that is equal to, so r by L into t becomes negative sign. So minus r by L into t. Okay, we just go on simplify this equation. Okay, the simplification follows like this. See, log a minus log b. So log of a by b, isn't it? So log I naught minus I by I naught is equal to minus r by L into t. Okay, then the next step is you take log. Okay, eliminating the log method. So eliminating log in the left hand side is nothing but what? So you're taking the right hand side term actually as a exponential term here. So that is I naught by I minus I by I naught is equal to, so e to the power of minus r by L into t. Okay, so taking log to the right hand side, or we can say eliminating log, whatever it is. So when you eliminate the log in the left hand side, so you should write like this only, e to the power of minus r by L into t. Entire term you should write it as exponential term only. Okay, then here I naught by I naught is equal to 1. So minus I by I naught, okay, is equal to e to the power of minus r by L into t. Okay, the next step is I by I naught I want actually. So you take I by I naught in the right hand side, okay, and e to the power of minus r by L into t in the left hand side. So that you will get the next equation like I by I naught is equal to 1 minus, okay, e to the power of minus r by L into t. Clear? Okay. By cross multiplication you can write this equation. So I is equal to I naught into 1 minus e to the power of minus r by L into t as an exponential term here. Okay, so this is not actually the equation important for you to derive. Okay, so this equation 8 gives the variation of current. Okay, the chi is the variable here, variation of the current at any time t in the exponential term. Okay, during the growth of the current in RL DC circuit. Okay, that means the equation you have to observe that as the time increases, how the current is increasing during the transient period. You have to observe that how the growth of the current takes place with respect to time t. Okay, so if you observe the equation 8, so we can conclude 2 points here. So with the increase of the time t, so the term e to the power of minus r by L into t, mathematically we can see that as t increases, the exponential term decreases here. So finally it becomes 0. So e to the power of minus r by L t approaches to 0. And hence the current, what about the current? As this term goes to 0, so I becomes only I naught, isn't it? The current approaches the final steady value I naught. Okay, so that is what you can observe in the equation 8. Again from the equation 8, because of the exponential term we can say that the growth of the current follows an exponential law only. It follows only exponential law. Mathematically it follows the exponential law. So if you plot the graph again for the variation of current with respect to time, there should be an exponential increase. Okay, that is the growth of the current during the transient period. Okay, now let us see the graph of variation of I versus time also. Okay, now look at the variation of the current versus time. So in the graph it is very clear that, see, the current is increasing exponentially, the current is increasing exponentially. So if you look at the beginning part, so the beginning part is very sharp increasing of the current. So that is why it is called current changes rapidly. So that is because of the back EMF. Okay, back EMF is very high in the beginning and hence the current changes rapidly here. So similarly, if you observe at the end, okay, where the current is going to reach its maximum value, the current changes slowly like this. Okay, so that is because of back EMF is low. Okay, so because of these two reasons we can say the current changes rapidly in the beginning and at the end current changes slowly, but in between you can observe that the current increasing exponentially, this term, okay, this part of the graph, and this is the maximum steady value. So maximum steady current is I naught. Okay, now look at the second graph again, the same thing, we are considering the exponential increase of the current. So where the current I naught is obtained by the ratio of V by R according to Ohm's law. Okay, the steady current can be calculated, of course, V by R is equal to I naught. And now what is this 0.632 times of I naught? It is 63.2% of its maximum value, isn't it? So that is achieved only when the time is equal to L by R. Okay, the time taken by the current to reach the maximum value. Okay, so that is actually L by R. If t is equal to L by R, it is not at maximum, okay, it is reaching only 63.2% of its maximum value. So that particular time is equal to L by R is called actually the time constant. Okay, further it is multiples of L by R only. See, L by R 2 into L by R, 3 into L by R, 4 into L by R, etc. Clear? So now let us try to understand what is this time constant in this LR circuit. Okay, so write down here time constant. So from the equation 8, the quantity L by R has the dimensions of time only. Okay, whatever the time dimension we have, the same dimension can be considered now L by R also. So, and is known as the time constant, and it is denoted by tau. Okay, it is tau of the circuit. So therefore the time constant tau is equal to, so this L by R seconds, time constant is equal to L by R seconds. So now substitute this tau is equal to, time taken is equal to exactly L by R in the equation 8. Okay, so when t is equal to L by R in equation 8, so what you will get? I is equal to I naught into 1 minus e to the power of minus R by L is there already. Okay, now in place of time t, I will take it as now L by R. It is just exactly reciprocal of R by L only. Okay, so that now we can cancel L and R also. Okay, left with I naught into 1 minus e to the power of minus 1. E to the power of minus 1 means 1 by e, and value of e is equal to 2.718. Okay, so reciprocal of 2.718 is equal to 0.368. So 1 minus 0.368 is equal to 0.632. So 0.632 times of I naught only we will get. Okay, that's why we call it as 63.2% of the maximum current I naught. Okay, then how do you define the time constant in case of LR circuit now? Hence the time constant of an LR circuit is the time taken by the current to rise from 0 to how much? 0.632 times of its maximum value. Maximum value is I naught. Okay, so maximum value is I naught. To reach 63.2% of its maximum value, what is the time taken for the current in the LR circuit? So that particular time taken is called actually the time constant here. Clear? Now look at the time t equal to 5 times of L by R, again in equation 8. So if we substitute the time t equal to 5 times of L by R, L by R is equal to what now? It is actually time constant, right? So if it is exactly L by R, that the current reaches to 0.632 times of its maximum value. Similarly, if you continue the time like 2 times of L by R, 3 times of time constant L by R, 4 times of L by R, etc. Next is 5 times of L by R. Okay, so with the condition t is equal to 5 into L by R in equation 8, substitute it now. So I naught into 1 minus e to the power of minus 5 only you will get, isn't it? So instead of minus 1 you will get minus 5. So if we simplify this equation you will get 0.993 times of I naught. So that is almost equal to the saturation value I naught, isn't it? Hence the current almost attains its steady value after time equal to how much? 5 times of its time constant, that is L by R. Okay, so that means it reaches to almost steady value after 5 times of the time constant L by R. Clear? Okay. Okay, so at the end you just note down these important points in the LR circuit. Okay, so at time t equal to 0 and time t equal to infinity. Okay, so in the beginning at time t equal to 0, so you observed that the growth of the current is more. Okay, as per the graph you can see that the growth of the current is more, and in case of time t equal to infinity, so as the time increases, the rate of change of current di by dt equal to 0, because the current reaches to the steady value, maximum value, so hence di by dt equal to 0. And similarly the potential difference PD across the inductance, so that is VL, the PD across the inductance VL is equal to the supply voltage itself. Okay, the supply EMF E is there here, so VL will be equal to E only. Okay, when time t equal to 0. Okay, so whatever the supply voltage, so you can exactly obtain the same voltage across the inductor here, so that is VL equal to E. And similarly in case of time t equal to infinity, the PD across the inductance PL is equal to 0. Finally there is no PD across the inductance, and hence VL is equal to 0 at time t equal to infinity. Okay, similarly at time t equal to 0, the PD across the resistance is equal to 0 because there is no flow of current. Okay, and hence you can say the PD across the resistance VR is equal to 0. But the PD across the resistance VR is equal to the supply EMF, that is I0 maximum current is flowing here at time t equal to infinity. So I0 into R. So that is exactly equal to the supply EMF E. Okay, so that means PD is obtained across the resistance at time t equal to infinity in the LR circuit. Clear? Okay, so in the next video I will take up the same LR circuit, so in which how the decay of the current takes place with respect to time again. Okay, that means during the transient period how the decreasing of the current takes place in the LR circuit. Okay, so see you in the next video.